All right. We should be live. Let me fix this real quick. Get this over here. And there we go. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure everything should be up and running. We are starting later than I like to start, that's for sure. There it is. And yes, we're live. Great. Okay. Yes, way later than I like to start normally. This is, I got held up. It was a lot. We had to, of course, I had to pick up my wife, and then we had to go shopping, and we had to get some stuff taken care of because tomorrow we got stuff that we have to do and whatnot. It's a mess. And right now she's not even getting off work till like 5:30, 5:40. So by the time I get there and get back here, I knew I wasn't going to start at 6, especially since we still had to cook and everything. But we're working on that too. We're going to work on how maybe I will eat at a different time so I can get these started on Wednesdays when she ends up having to work late like that. We'll figure it out. It takes time. Hey, what's going on? Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Good. I got it. I was wondering if I actually set that up or not. What's going on, man? Okay, so we are on the move. Right now, Marvel Legends is currently winning. And we have a new Marvel Legend that I don't think I've had a chance to do a short for. But he'll come up in the show if he ends up winning. As for a channel update, the playlists are done. All of them. The only thing now is if we end up starting something new, there will be a new playlist added. But as it stands right now, we're set. Everything's running. All the playlists are done. All the videos are accounted for. Some still have a minor question as to whether or not they will get their own playlist, but I really don't think so. I went ahead with some of the old podcasts and whatnot that were done on this channel back when all the channels were split up. So like Sons of Khan have their own thing here and stuff like that. And I think Controller Pile Up and things of that nature. But for what it's worth, we'll figure it out as we go. But at least for right now, we're set. Everything is go, and all the playlists are up. And now I can start focusing on actually editing and stuff again. Have I heard James Gunn announced a sequel to Superman, Man of Tomorrow, for 2027? Yes, and then somebody sent me something that, like, I guess he was posting pictures of Lex in power armor. I don't know if that's a hint. If it is, I don't know how I feel about Lex and then Lex again. Like, I feel like we've done Lex. I feel like he kind of needs to move to the background and scheme. And we need to get other, like, because Superman is one of those things that there's so much over the years that, like, has never really gotten attention. Especially on film. Like, Parasite would be a cool idea for something in a movie. Of course, if we're building up to the idea of dealing with something like Metallo would be kind of cool. If there was some possibility of bringing him in. If now they realize there's only one force left on the planet that actually still has a working piece of kryptonite or something like that. I don't know. I am still looking forward to it. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's just, to go from Lex as the bad guy to Lex as the bad guy, we've had a lot of Lex Luthor as the bad guy for the Superman movies. A lot of him. And it gets to a point where we need to start playing around with the rest of his rogues gallery, especially in terms of live action, because live action right now, getting ideas out there to people to kind of play with you got to get those things rolling. Because let's be honest, how many people really know Spider-Man villains unless you count, like, the average person, and that's what I'm talking about here, the average person. The average person wouldn't know Spider-Man villains if it wasn't for movies and cartoons. They simply would not. They would not. I'm telling you, the average person would not. And that's a big name. So you talk about characters like Wonder Woman, and talk about like her rogues gallery and stuff like that. Like, you got to get these characters out there, and to just go Lex Luthor, I don't know. But that all being said, with what he pulled off with the last movie, I'm willing to say that we're in good hands. Let him cook. We'll see what he does. It would be cool if you did a Suits We Missed. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. Because we talked about this recently as to whether or not it's possible to bring back Fandom Night. And if possible, what it would look like. Like what's going to happen when we do that. And one of our problems that we're coming across right now is like Shane has moved to a different shift. So Shane and Seth are now on second shift. I'm on first. Seth is on first. We don't really have any line of communication going with Scott at all. And I don't know realistically how that would go over if we even pitched anything to him ever. We also don't have like it sounds like if the show came back, it would be me and Shane. And that's it. Shane is rearing to go. He wants to. He's very interested in like coming back and doing shows. But that's it. Like that's it. Seth is very busy. We don't see him very often right now. He does live further away. So these would have to be like live Discord shows in order to get him in. But with them being on third shift lifestyles and everything, it's a lot more difficult. So I don't know. I have no idea how it would work. We were talking about it a couple days ago. I don't know. It's been on our mind. We're trying to figure it out. But like, and then there's certain people that just like Nick. I think he's done. I think with everything that's been going on, his life is kind of done like this flip, and he's just kind of over there. I don't know. I want Brainiac or Parasite or Metallo, not Zod again. Why do I get the feeling they'll go for Brainiac? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, I've heard Brainiac is definitely a thing. I've heard, and this is all rumor and speculation, but I've heard the idea is to move us towards Brainiac being the event that we're moving towards in this whole thing. But man, I love a proper Bizarro. Ultraman was kind of Bizarro, but I'd love if they... So I don't think... I can't prove this, but I have this weird theory that Ultraman was Ultraman. And what I'm thinking is that he got thrown into this black hole that was specifically generated from a pocket universe, which the ideas behind that could possibly lead into dimensional crossings. This is just, I'm spitballing hard here, but like, if you send Ultraman through this black hole, which turns out to be a portal that rips him into another dimension, he could come back later as the Ultraman that we know from the comics. Like Ultraman from the crime syndicate. I'm just wondering if they're setting something like that up. And they gave us our first indication. We send this guy over there. He has a certain attitude about him. He takes control. He builds up a group. I'd be very interested to see where that goes. I really would. Hey, what's going on? I'm not a fan of when one character is revealed to be another character. By the way, Bill, I have some good news. Someone got their hands on Emma Frost early, and the cape does come off. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's fantastic news. That is fantastic news, because I have been without an Emma Frost because I tossed that other one out. There was no way. Like, I hated her. She didn't work right. I was kind of mad about it. Like, you just made my day on that one. That means the Emma Frost, when I finally get her, that will be finally a White Queen for the shelf. I'm looking forward to that like crazy now, because if I could take that cape off, she's exactly what I want. Hey, what is new, y'all? I'm back, and I am here to hang with y'all the new Fandom Nights. That is us. It's starting to become like that, isn't it? Definitely. Maybe Owlman could make a black hole generator. Right. And then, I don't know. I'm just saying, let him cook. After that movie, he deserves to do whatever he's going to do. Let's see. Okay, so Legends, we're going to call it on that one. Legends wins. Not a terrible start. Let's move this mic so I can type. Okay, so we have get out of my way, mouse. Yep. There. I imagine that if you could take that cape off, I've seen many characters with heels that we can balance. And if we can take that cape off, I also believe that just the small little round stand will have her standing perfectly. What's your thoughts on Clayface horror movie? Do you think it can work? Or is he too obscure of a Batman villain? Well, I mean, if you go with what they did for... if you go with what they did for the animated series, you can easily do it. You can easily do it. You just got to tell the movie from his point of view. And then, from his point of view, you, here's the thing. I don't think it's, they could claim this all they want, but after seeing the Superman movie, this Clayface would not be a standalone movie. I think you would probably tell the movie from Clayface's point of view, but Batman would be the one to take him out at the end of the movie. Very close to what you did very close to what they did in the animated series. I really do. I think, because like you can't just do Clayface as a horror movie and then leave him alone and just have him be like, he's a Batman villain that is supposed to have confrontations with Batman. If you take that away, we have another Venom situation where somehow we have a character that doesn't really operate without the main influence that kind of creates him. I'm not saying Batman is responsible for Clayface, but like, I'm saying we did Venom without Spider-Man, and personally, I never thought that it worked. I always felt like there was an element missing. You do Clayface, and you don't do Batman, you don't do Gotham, you don't make the indication that this is happening in a shared universe, it's going to feel like something's missing. So I don't know. Who's ready for Kamen Rider? I'm not. I don't know. If I were to fan cast Spider-Man, Michael J. Fox would be fantastic. Wouldn't he have been back then? What do you think of the live-action Call of Duty movie soon? I don't know. War film. I mean, look. You could take a number of war films, put Call of Duty on it, tell nobody that it's actually a different war film, and, like, there you go. Like, you don't even have to sell it, really. I don't see that you can't do it. Now, Penguin did the same thing, but it is already associated with Batman. Batman set that in motion, so we know Batman is out there. We know how that universe currently works. It's set up. It's already in motion. Then they did Penguin. They didn't do Penguin without Batman and no context to how Gotham currently functions. Like, there's an entire movie that sets the groundwork before they do the series. I don't know if it will work the same way. Did I see the Zombie Movies trailer? The Marvel Zombies trailer? No, I didn't. I imagine it's going to be cool, but I'll say this. Most of the animated features from Marvel that are not series are okay at best. Like, DC does unbelievable animated features. Marvel, for some reason, doesn't. Like, and I don't know why, but just over and over and over again, okay at best, and that does make me worry about stuff like that. Okay, looks like Spider-Man has this one. Okay. I would like to see a Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie. That would probably be very rough. Like, in terms of how they would get it working and everything. Okay. That's fine. Okay, let's do it. Spider-Man 77. I've talked about this many times. Bit of a putz when it comes to Spider-Man. You show me a Spider-Man, you tell me it's a thing, it's in the price category that I like, I already have shelves of Spider-Man from Marvel Legends, chances are I'm going to want it. Well, here it is. That's not promising, is it? Let's give them an out here real quick on this terrible pose. Maybe that's on purpose. Do I think that this Spider-Man will pose poorly? I don't know yet. I don't know. I have no clue. And I don't have any real speculation. I think he looks like he's built primarily, couple of differences, but primarily on the same body that they used to make Spider-Man. The Japanese Spider-Man one that they released. If that's true, he'll be fine. Not great. But there is something about the campiness and the old 1970s guy in a costume thing that kind of works for not having a fully ridiculous, articulated, hit any pose Spider-Man. It works. There's something about it that just, it loans itself well. So I'm not saying it can't work. but I am curious how this guy's going to move. Do I have a history with this? In a strange way, I do. I remember really liking Spider-Man. I mean, of course, right? And then I remember years ago on a black and white TV. I remember this specifically. It was a black and white TV. I was at my mom's, and I was watching a black and white TV. And I can't remember if it was a TV Land or American Classics channel or whatever it was. Or it may have been really late. Like one of those like ABC late things where they play like old shows or something. Or maybe it was like, could have been a TV Land. I don't remember. Here's what I remember. Because I can't tell you the details. I remember this. I remember it was on a black and white TV. And I saw this Spider-Man. And he's running around. And some guys come after him. And they do this like scene where he like puts his hands out or whatever, right? And then they just like throw a big net on these guys. that was like his web or whatever. And here's the crazy thing about that. Something about seeing it in live action, even as bad as it was at the time, I was a kid, it was magical to me. That was Spider-Man for real. But something else stuck in my head that never went away. I kept saying to myself, man, it would be cool to have that gray costume, that gray and black costume. Like, I remember that. Even today, I remember something strange about that. That in all honesty, if they released this guy in a black and white scheme, I would buy him instantly. If they released this guy again with no difference at all, just said, hey, black and white variant, and they gave it to me, I'd buy this. I'd buy this guy in an instant. Because something about the black and white chrome Spider-Man grayscale thing, I was watching it on that old TV, that stuck in my mind, and it like never went away. Regardless of how bad it was, regardless of how goofy, regardless of how stupid, and I knew it was. Even then, I could tell that there was like a Batman 66 going on here. That it wasn't quite what I'd seen in comic books or cartoons. But it was like a real guy. Going back to this show as an older man and watching some of these episodes, these are awful. Like, they're a novelty to watch. And I wish this show had been given the chance to dive a little deeper and play a little more real with itself. Because I'm going to be honest with you, the costume's not awful for its time. I mean, you can laugh at it, but it's really not that bad for its time. And there's certain concepts that feel like they would have really worked. But it just wasn't ready. It just wasn't ready. And you know, I gotta say, I'm surprised that this guy hasn't been given any kind of like special appearance, Easter egg type of thing, cameo. Like, he hasn't been in any Spider project, right? Like any of them. I don't know. Almost a shame to think that this guy's really, like, for us here, he's like the first one. And not that he did a good show, but like he doesn't get any kind of respect at all. Like no background cameos, no nothing. Not that I'm aware of. It kind of blows my mind, you want the truth of it. Well, whatever. Let's open him. All right, well, he comes with 2 web splashes. I don't find a lot of use for these, to be fair, but every now and then I'll put them around the ground or something like that, like if I'm doing like a scene where he's kind of jumping up and shooting webs or something. He does come with 2 expression hands. That's what we're going to call these. He comes with, of course, his punching hands that are already on the figure, and this. Normally, I would call this out. And I would be like, are you kidding me? But in this one instance, this makes a ridiculous amount of sense. Like, this is pretty perfect. I can't believe this was not an idea in the Japanese Spider-Man release. Because, like the Toei Spider-Man, this would have made perfect sense to give me this. On this Spider-Man, it does as well. And I know that it's literally just a string. And I should be like, are we serious here? But this is perfect. Like, it really fits the idea of the cheap effects of the time. This is perfect. Let's see Spider-Man 77, shall we? Here he is. Most of him is reuse. I recognize these arms for the most part. I recognize the hands that I was talking about. I recognize the lower body. I recognize most all of this. I feel like these boots. I feel like this, almost all of it, is from that Toei Spider-Man. That's not a bad thing. They practically wore the same suit aside from mild modifications. I am noticing some weirdness to him, though. I don't know what's causing it, but like his boots are slightly a different color. Like the red does not go all the way up the boot. It stops. See that? Like it's bright red and then it goes into a darker red as it goes down the boot, but like a very hard cutoff. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what causes that. That seems weird to me. Do I care? Not necessarily. And I would almost just as well tell you that that maybe in some way that makes sense. My guy does not have gummy legs. I'm experiencing no stick or anything like that. So I got no problems that I can really complain about right now. A little tight on the joints, but nothing that seems like it's going to be a problem. He's got the belt. It's not a bad spider on his back. I don't know why there's a hole there. I don't like that they reuse whatever top body this is all the time that has the hole on the back. I don't have... Like, there's no backpacks or anything like that come with these guys. And it's not like he has, like, the pluggable, like, back web cape thing or anything like that. I really wish they would stop using the body that has the hole in it. Or just put your money... Spend some money, Hasbro. Make a new upper torso that you can reuse 1,000 times. And close this hole. Why is this on every other figure? The women especially. So I'm going to call that out. That irritates me. I really like this 1970s head. Like, I like it a lot. I like the Coke bottle eyes and everything like that. I just think that's really cool. I like the awful spider. This guy is cool for what it's worth. So let's see. Let's see here. This one. This might be a floating piece. So I guess watch that if you're messing around with it or whatever. But yeah. Let's see if we can't get something out of him, right? He has an ab crunch. We could turn his body a little bit. We could put that web in his hand. I mean, we kind of can anyway. Let's roll it. You can get decent swinging poses. He's not the most articulated we're ever going to see at all. But if you want to play around with him, you can get a decent swing pose out of him, still keeping that 1970s cheap look about him. And you know what? That's what he's meant to be. I don't hate that they didn't go all out here. They could have given us the Renew Your Vows body, and they could have like made him really crazy, and then they could have just kind of like did the paint properly and gave him this head. And you could argue that they should have, but I don't think that they should have. If you're asking me, him being a little cheaper actually makes sense to the gimmick that they're trying to sell. I think it kind of works. Like, this is very much that terrible 1977 Spider-Man. And for what it's worth, that's what he's supposed to be, so that's perfect. I'm not going to call them out here. He didn't have a terrible price point. He looks it. He feels right. He doesn't pose perfectly, but he is literally a 1977 guy in a suit. This works for me. I'm on board for this. I think they did it. I think I'm happy with it. No complaints. Let's set up the next one and ask the big question. What line should we open next? Okay. Currently, what is in the show is that. We have and then we have a skip on that. Bam. Okay. Now let's head back to the chat, see what's going on. Okay, you liked Hulkverse and Planet Hulk. I did like the Hulkverse movies. I thought those were fine. But, like, that doesn't really save the animated movie projects of Marvel. Like, a lot of them are really okay at best. If he met the TV Hulk, it would be cool. It would have been cool. If TV Spider-Man, TV Daredevil, TV Hulk, like, that would have been neat. Wouldn't have been super great, but it would have been neat. It would have been a cool novelty of the time, for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, hey, Bill, don't laugh at me, but I did complete the TMNT Hello Kitty crossover McDonald's Happy Meal toys. Good. He does, too. I have him on my shelf. Like, I thought he was kind of a breakout, in all honesty. Way better than he even deserved to be. Yes, it did. Yeah, absolutely, yes. Let's see. Imagine getting an Dude, that would be wild. I mean, they've already done the 77 Spider-Man. They did the Toei Spider-Man. We've had all the animated series Spider-Mans that I could think of. Like, that would be crazy. That would be cool. He has to come with like a dialogue box, like a word bubble. It does not have any stand, in fact. Not even a flight stand. And the only reason we don't hold that against Marvel is because Marvel often doesn't. I remember hearing Battle Fever J was supposed to be at first a Japanese Captain America show to go with Spider-Man. Hey, what's going on, man? Regular red boots. Oh, I don't remember 100%. You could be right. I would have to look up a picture of him again to really look him over, but because now that you're saying that, I seem to, like, my mind is telling me that there was just red boots. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Well, I don't think his eyes were reflective in the original show. I don't remember them being so. I remember them having like these little holes in them, and like I do not remember them being reflective. They were like bottle caps with holes in them. You noticed it's mostly the Marvel Legends characters who have holes, never the female characters. You noticed it's mostly the male... No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. Spinnerate has a hole in her back. Spider-Woman has a hole in her back. Another Spider-Woman has a hole in her back. The other Spider-Woman has a hole in her back. Both Fantastic Four Invisible Women have holes in their backs. I think there's a hole in Crystal's back, even. Like, every single female that uses this buck has a hole in their back. And this buck is on a lot of the female characters. Spider-Woman Skrull has a hole in her back. If I could grab some stuff off of there, I'll bet you a lot of them do too. Like, that hole in the back thing, it's on a ridiculous amount of characters. Spider-Dork. Can you make a figure clothes look baggy? He kind of does in small points. Like if you're looking at the legs and everything, he actually has like these like flaps that look like cloth flaps kind of. And up here, like in the armpits, there's these little effects that are kind of hard to show, but they look like they don't see how they kind of got like. And then also down towards the gloves, it's not just like flat material. Like down here around the wrist, there's like some, there's like a waviness to it and everything. He does actually look like the suit is not perfect. I think that's, I mean, look, he doesn't even have a butt. Like, so they kind of did do that. That question right there would have been answered so differently by Comic Conan or Book Conan. But we all love that. We all love that line. As to be expected, and I'm not surprised, Hasbro will be raising the standard prices from $24.99 to $27.99. This isn't only for Marvel Legends, but for G.I. Joe figures as well. I know, and today I was talking about it with Shaggy. After you add in shipping and tax, you're talking about, I know it doesn't sound like it, but you're talking like nearly $40 figures. Like $4 to $5 to $6 shipping. If you buy it from like Hasbro Pulse, I'm looking at like almost $9 in shipping, standard. Then you add tax on top of whatever you bought, which is anywhere from $4 to $6. And before you know it, that $24 figure is a $38 figure or more. Like, it is starting to make a very real difference and starting to put me at the point where you got to start asking yourself, if you don't find it at the store, like how many pre-orders are you going to start skipping and go, you know what? If I could find it at the store, I'll save $12 easily per figure. But then how often is that really happening lately? Like how often are we actually walking into a store and finding something right off? It's not happening. Jada Toys has won the draw. So, there's not much here. We have, and that's it. That's all I got. If they ever did an Electric Company Spider-Man, then he needs to be packed with the Wall. That would be amazing to get a Wall figure. He will return to TV on September 15th on Me TV Tunes. I didn't know that. I'm thinking it was probably for those flight stands that... I'm thinking it was probably for those flight stands that peg into the back of the figures. That's what those peg holes... Oh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, you could be right. That could have been the idea that they were having, because I do remember those flight stands. And, you know, until you just said that, I didn't remember that at all. I didn't remember that those were, like, a thing at all. So, now that you've said that, interesting. Like, that did not... That could be exactly why so many of them had the holes in their back. If the idea was that they give out a very specific flight stand that has the ability to do that, and that's what they were kind of doing, that makes a lot of sense to me. Now that you've said that, that makes a lot of sense to me, man. Nah, Hasbro, get to working on my MTO big wheel. I think, because we started late tonight, so we've only got about 6 people hanging out. Uh-oh. I'm not sure what happened. Seems like the stream... Let me check something. Something's wrong. That's weird. That shouldn't be like that. I know that shouldn't be like that. We were doing... Okay. So for some reason, the stream is currently running at very low setting. Like, for some reason, we're only going at, like, 2656K, which is not right. That's very, very wrong, and it shouldn't be like that at all. I'm going to try to fix it right here without canceling or changing anything in the stream. But I wonder if I should start a new one. Because I set this... I usually film at 10,000 minimum. But for some reason, it didn't set right. Hold on, I'm trying to fix it right now. We're going to see if I can get this to work right. Because that's weird. That should not be happening. It just gave me the warning just now. Apply that. Run that. What is happening? All right, I fixed the output on here, but now I don't know how that's going to affect the stream. The stream could start messing up, and if it starts messing up, we may have to cancel this one and open another stream, which wouldn't be that terrible. It's something I could do. Looks like my connection is back up to excellent. We're going to give it a minute. If I have to cancel this one and open another one, we'll open another one.